What's going on, guys? It's your bro Taylor.
And your bro Ryan here.
In today's video, we're going to be ranking a bunch of credit cards that you'll find probably in the fair credit range. So maybe you're just started to build your credit, you're starting to get a little bit better, and you may even be entering that good credit range. These are going to be the cards that you're going to be looking at, and we're going to rank them A to D, what we think are the best cards in this category.
Don't forget about S for superior.
Oh, true. Yep, nice.
Stop wasting money on that dumb shit and instead put it in investment. I know it's tempting. You'll spend it and be broke again.
So jumping right into it, talking about a card that I talk about all the time and I personally have in my wallet and I've had for many, many years now, Discover It Cashback. So this card specifically has no annual fee, which I love. It has 0% APR for the first 15 months on purchases and transfers. They have 5% back on different categories each quarter, 1% back on everything else. Unlimited cashback match at the end of that first year, which is awesome feature. No one else I know does that. I think it's really cool. And I got it. My brother's got it. Everybody I've known has got it. It's worked flawlessly. And then the 0% APR for 15 months on purchases and transfers. It does have a 3% intro transfer balance fee. So if you do transfer in a balance from another card, you will have to pay 3% of that balance. Then it's 17.74% up to 27.74% APR, and your balance transfer fee goes to 5%. You're not actually getting points or cash back as an intro bonus. You're just getting 15 months, so over a year of 0% APR and a lower balance transfer fee if you were to do that. Which, if that's what you're looking for, this is a great card.
Yeah, and a lot of people love Discover, as you can probably tell from what Ryan was saying.
I like it a little.
Yeah, and a pretty decent rewards package there with the rotating categories and everything. I know some people like rotating categories, some people don't, so it's a little bit of what you like right there, but a great card.
And hands down, one of the best customer service out of any, forget card, company out there. Like, forget credit cards, companies as a whole. You actually get someone, and it's actually pretty darn quick. You're not in this queue forever, so that's also top of the line.
Yeah, and maybe we're able to guess it with all of Ryan's hype, but we were actually debating between S and A, but we decided to put this in the A category. It didn't really have a special intro bonus offer or something like that. So there are just a few little things that we were nitpicking. Still a great card.
Yeah.
It's very hard to reach that S category, but A is still a great card that you definitely should consider. Jumping into our next card is the Capital One Quicksilver one. Not to be confused with the Capital One Quicksilver. That one takes that one takes a little bit better credit score than this one does. Getting into the details, for this one, there is a $39 annual fee.
Boo.
Yeah, we don't love seeing an annual fee, especially in this kind of tier of credit card. They do offer a basic 1.5% cash back on all your purchases, and there's a variable APR of about 29.99%. Now, pretty basic card.
Now that we've said all the cons, hit me with a pro.
Yeah. The Capital One Quicksilver is something a lot of people like, but that requires that better credit. So this one, they're charging you a fee. There's not that many rewards. There's no
Interest
intro
rates
bonus.
high.
Yeah, there's just nothing too great about it. I mean, if you like Capital One, maybe you would consider it, but a very bare bones kind of card. So for that reason, we actually slid this into the D category. Moving right along is the Amex Blue Cash Everyday card. This is a card that a lot of people seem to show a lot of interest in, and I can understand why. I mean, Amex is a massive credit card provider, but let's see if it's actually got some good features. So there is no annual fee, and they do offer an intro bonus of 200. Right now, it's 250, so it kind of depends on what time you look at their website. But you'll get $250 back after you spend $2,000 in the first 6 months. And they also offer an additional 3% cash back at supermarkets up to $6,000 per year. Then it goes down to 1%. And they have that same policy for gas and online retail. All other purchases, you will still get 1% cash back, so that's nice to see. And they do also offer a 0% intro APR promotion for purchases and balance transfers for the first 15 months. Then you get a variable APR of 18.74% to 29.74%. So I can kind of understand the hype, why a lot of people look into this. It has a lot of good features.
Yeah, it covers a lot of the categories you're going to use. It has a lot of different cashback areas. It's not just this one thing and that's it, or you get nothing pretty much.
Yeah.
And then if you don't get all these bonuses, plus the intro bonus, by the way,
Yeah.
if you don't get all these categories, then you still get that 1% cash back. So it is a pretty nice looking card with no annual fee.
Yeah. Definitely bonus points for that. And for that reason, and all those reasons we just listed, we actually put this in the S tier. we didn't really have too much negative things to say about this one. I mean, they have an intro bonus, like Ryan said, good cash back. So
Yeah.
S tier.
The one big red flag is Amex isn't accepted everywhere, especially like a Costco and I believe eBay nowadays. So you have to be wary about that. You might not always get to use the card.
Yeah.
So jumping right into the next one, the Citi Custom Cash Card. There is no annual fee. Again, we'd love to see that. A $200 back after you spend $1,500 in 6 months, which is a little bit easier. You get 0% intro APR for 15 months on balance transfers and purchases. 5% back on top eligible spending categories like restaurants, gas, grocery, etc., up to $500 each billing cycle. So that's an interesting little limitation there, but it is at most of the major things you go to, restaurants, gas, grocery. So we do like to see that. Then 1% back on everything else. It does, so big con, have a foreign transaction fee. If you travel a lot, you are going to want to be wary about that. And after the intro 15 months is over with your bonus, you go to a normal APR of around 18.74% to 28.74%.
Pretty good card right there. Some people don't like that somewhat of a rotating category, but this is for your highest eligible spending category. So that's a nice thing. Whatever you're spending the most in, that's what it applies to. Do have a little bit of a limitator there with the $500 each billing cycle, but still a good thing to see. I mean, if you're spending, a couple $100s a month on gas and you're getting 5% back, that's still a very solid reward right there.
Yeah, I would love to see it close to $1,000 limitation maybe, but
Yeah.
500 the average person probably won't be hitting 500 anyways. You're not spending that much to get 5% up to 500. But that if that's the only drawback, can't complain too much.
Yeah. But like we said, there is kind of a little bit of hesitation there. That's why it slid down to the A category. So still a great card, but just a few little things were like a slight limitation there. So A tier card, still great by all means. Next is a card you may or may not have heard of. It's just something that I've kind of heard a little bit about recently. Is actually the Upgrade Cash Rewards card. With this card, there is no annual fee, and they offer 1.5% cash back on all purchases. They do have 10% back on certain stores, but again, that's a bit limited there. Certain stores, there are some qualifying terms and all that, so take that how you will. The real selling point for this card is you get to pay off the balance more like a loan than a typical credit card. So let's say you make a lot of purchases within a month. At the end of that billing cycle, they kind of look at it and basically structure that as a loan where you will have, structured payments for the next several pay periods where you'll get to slowly work that off. It's not like a minimum payment with some credit cards where you may just be kicking the can down the road. You will be making progress on that balance right there, and it enables you to have access to more of your credit balance. So that kind of difference in pay structure is something a little new. We wanted to include it in this video. Not 100% sure how it would really work in the real world with a lot of people, but I know that some people are taking advantage of it right now. So let us know down in the comments if you've stumbled across this card or know anything more about it. We'd love to hear about it. It's just something we decided to include.
And it doesn't have a huge bonus. Like there's no intro bonus.
Yeah, there's nothing too special in that regard.
1.5% back. That's pretty standard nowadays.
Yeah.
10% on certain places that we have no idea what they are really.
Yeah.
We tried to look into it a little bit, but we didn't find much on it.
Maybe you could dig and let us know.
Yeah, honestly. So for that reason, we lowered that on the list and put this in the C category. So the next card we're looking at is the Wells Fargo Active Cash Card. This card has no annual fee, $200 back after you spend $500 in 3 months. Keep getting a little bit easier here.
Yeah.
$500 is just about nothing, to be honest, to get $200 cash back. 2% back on everything else. Pretty nice. You get 0% intro APR for 12 months. After that, your APR will be 19.74 to 24.74 or even up to 29.74 based on your credit worthiness. This card isn't ultra exciting. It's not bad in any means.
Yeah, it does have a good catch-all.
Yeah.
One of the best catch-alls in this group, but it doesn't have any other categories. It's like 3-5%.
Right.
So, I mean, if your spending's kind of across the board, maybe this is the great card for you. Yeah. But if you're like, I'm, mostly using my card for, restaurants, and this card offers 3% or gas, this one offers 3% on gas kind of thing. It's kind of a good catch-all, but again, not specialized. Very easy intro bonus though.
Yeah, definitely an intro, a great intro because of how quick you can get it.
Yeah.
But also, yeah, the 2%, maybe you just don't even want to pay attention to the categories. I know a lot of these card companies make you go in and like say, activate
Yeah.
this month or activate this quarter, or select the coupons to get 10% or whatever you want to call them. While this one just 2%, don't worry about it, no stress, just use the card.
Yeah.
So we put this in the B category. Goes against some of our better judgment because sometimes most of the time we're not a big Wells Fargo fan.
Yeah.
But take that out of it and just look at the card itself and the merit of the card, and that's what we decided to put it at.
And rolling right into the last card on our list is the Bank of America Customized Cash Card. This card does have no annual fee, and it offers 3% cash back on categories of your choice and 2% at grocery stores and wholesale clubs, up to $2,500 a quarter, and then it drops down to 1%. And then, of course, the standard 1% back on everything else. And for your APR, they do offer an intro bonus of 0% for your first 15 billing cycles. After that, it jumps up to 18.74% to 28.74%. It does offer an intro bonus of $200 online cash rewards after spending $1,000 in the first 90 days of your account opening. So that's a little bit of a shorter timeline than some and a little bit more spending than maybe the previous card we mentioned, but still not bad at all. All that to say, it's a decent card. The intro bonus isn't the easiest we mentioned by any means. The cash back is kind of middle of the pack, reasonable, but nothing too crazy to get excited about. So for that reason, we did put this in the C category. Just because, there were a few things like, maybe I won't reach that intro bonus in time. The cash back, decent, but nothing crazy.
I definitely could be convinced to move it to the B, just slightly above.
Yeah.
It's definitely not a bad card. There aren't that many drawbacks. But at the same time, there wasn't anything super enticing. The biggest thing to me was that you can choose the category that you're going to spend the most and you can earn that cash back. That was kind of the coolest, best feature to me.
Yeah.
And that was just the one thing. So other than that, pretty standard card that you can get elsewhere. And Bank of America, wishy-washy of a bank. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to go with the basic card on a wishy-washy bank.
Yeah.
So that's the reason we put it in C. And yeah, so that rounds out our list. Please let us know in the comments if there's any of these that you have never heard of, like the upgrade card I'd never heard of before looking into this. Please let us know if there's one that you already have and your experience with that one. You could help so many others.
Yeah.
Help us. If we go to apply for that in the future, we'll go back to the comments and see what you guys have to say. And as always, please like this video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And we look forward to seeing you guys in the next one.
Stop wasting money on that dumb shit and instead put it in investment. I know it's tempting. You'll spend it and be broke again.